Alright, so Jacobin Magazine, which for those who don't know is a leading socialist publication in the US, recently came out with a nice little article describing how the super rich keep getting richer and that it has nothing to do with them working harder than anyone else, nor does it have anything to do with them being innovated. It all has to do with the corporate empires draining society's resources. Now, first of all, when I see an article like this, the first thing I do is Control F and quickly just see if they bring up the Federal Reserve. I just like to know what I'm dealing with before I dig in. In this case, I typed in FE, and then when I hit D, I got the noise that it didn't match anything in the article. So off to a real great start. You can't have a serious conversation about this topic without mentioning the Federal Reserve. It's just not possible. It's like discussing how the tides work without mentioning the moon. One of the central aspects of the conversation is completely missing, so you are not getting even close to the full picture. Now, with that being said, this article claims that those on the right, and by those on the right, I assume they mean anyone who gives any lip service to capitalism, they say that we say becoming rich has everything to do with hard work, creativity, and innovation that benefits society. Okay, well, yeah, that's true. That's a big part of it, and I don't think that should be discounted or waved off. There have been many people who became rich through exactly those things, taking on huge risks and putting everything on the line to create something, and if it ends up benefiting all of society, they get rewarded for that risk. You become disproportionately wealthy because you disproportionately helped all of society. You are an outlier in terms of wealth because you are an outlier in terms of being a net positive for the civilization around you. That largely describes Jeff Bezos, who they bring up. Not entirely, but largely. The man created something that is undeniably a net positive for society and the people within our society, even the workers they claim are being exploited. Would it have been better if Amazon didn't exist or wasn't so large that they couldn't offer so many jobs? If you say yes to that and you get your way, I think you'd realize pretty quickly the mistake you've made. There are worse things than being paid $15 an hour, namely making $0 an hour, because socialists forbid some company from becoming too successful, right? A job that otherwise could have existed doesn't exist, and now you make $0 an hour. That's not an improvement. Now, that being said, his wealth, they continually reference, of course, is not in some bank account. It's tied up mostly in the stock he owns in Amazon. That stock is, of course, overvalued because of Fed policy, which is the thing this article does not mention, which is extremely telling. Interest rates being held down and their stated goal being that they want to increase the value of all these financial instruments. This disproportionately helps those who are the wealthiest. So wealth disparity in and of itself is not a bad thing, but wealth disparity being made wider because of government and government-created institutions, that has to go. People need to wise up to this, and then we'll actually have a shot at changing things. But for now, socialists like this are plucking leaves off of a rotted branch and claiming they're cutting down a tree. They are doing no such thing, and when they fail, they'll opt to just burn down the whole forest. Meanwhile, they could have just recognized where the issue is actually coming from and worked on it from there. They do this even when it comes to stock buybacks. Walmart's engaging in stock buyback programs to increase their stock valuation. Yes, they are. And if you look into it, much of these stock buybacks are financed because of the low interest rate environment the Fed decided we need. So do something about them. There's no need to go after Walmart. Just get rid of the system that disproportionately benefits corporations like Walmart. So again, they rightfully point out a problem and they just describe it to this immaterial thing they call capitalism that they don't even understand. And meanwhile, they fall flat on their face when it comes to pointing out the real root of any of these problems. Case in point, how about the regulatory state? I don't like the fact the big corporations get an unfair advantage because the regulatory state erects these huge barriers to entry into the marketplace that big established businesses can get over with ease. But smaller firms that otherwise could have taken some of their market share away, they never get the opportunity because of zoning laws, licensing fees, business fees, taxes, regulatory and compliance costs, etc., etc. If you got rid of that, those small firms might have a better shot at taking some of the market away from those big businesses, and you could diminish their wealth. And at the same time, some smaller business owners would have a little bit more wealth. You could hit two birds with one stone on that one, but of course that's not something that people who think like those at Jacobin Magazine would ever consider. In fact, they argue the exact opposite. Maybe I missed it, but I've never heard them rail against the regulatory state. I don't think they realize how grateful the big corporations are to those regulations, which oddly enough are advocated for by people who say they're against the big corporations. It's the most backwards thing I've ever seen. Again, they fail miserably at identifying the root cause of these issues. Or how about, as we have been talking about Amazon, how about when they were offered all these deals by states and cities to put their headquarters in their state or city? They were offered benefits and tax breaks galore. I don't like that. Those tax breaks should be given to everyone as far as I can tell. You shouldn't get special privileges because you're established, rich, and politically connected. But of those three, being politically connected is the most important aspect when it comes to getting unfair, disproportionately beneficial treatment. So that's my whole point, that these socialists miss completely. Government is the root of the problem here. Wealth disparity in and of itself is not a problem, but wealth disparity that stems from a government that creates a rigged game is a problem. You don't need to destroy the vestiges of capitalism and property rights that we have and replace it with something far worse that has never worked anytime it's tried. Get rid of the aspects of our economy that are antithetical to capitalism that causes these problems to begin with. The more people we get to realize this, the better shot we have of actually changing things for the better. But anyway, that's all for now. Like, subscribe, and share this video with whoever you want, and take it easy.